Hi, I'm Leland. I am a creative director at LPA Design Studios. We're a multidisciplinary design firm. On the weekends, I like to play in my garage with wood type and create art. Over the years, I've fallen in love with typography. It's just an interesting art form that probably doesn't get celebrated enough. This is probably one of the first typesets that I purchased. This type down here at the bottom is the Clarendon Italian, and it was originally designed in 1866. I actually have cut out my own letters to create, prints on my own. At some point when you're playing with type, it's like, what else can I find? I work at an architect office that has a materials library, and periodically they throw away sample things, and I collect things like this is a ceramic tile that you might use as a detail somewhere. And I just thought I liked the pattern, and I'd ink that up. I have a 1960s typewriter that I bought, as you do. And I thought, okay, so I'm gonna add one more layer to the process. And because we had taken a recent trip, I wanted to put little highlights that my wife and I would recall moments of that travel with. When you're using a computer, you have unlimited use of fonts. It's almost like having too much freedom, whereas when I look at what I have available to me in the type that I own, I find it entertaining that you've got to do a workaround and find a solution to get that idea onto a sheet of paper. If I'm missing an M, I have to use an upside down W. If I'm out of the letter I, hopefully I have a number 1. And so some of the art comes together in that manner, right? And so a few weeks back, I'm on my way back from a meeting in San Clemente, and I stopped in Lucadia. And one of the coffee shops called Coffee had this handwritten expression on the back counter that just said, "Exit through the surf shop." And so I wrote that down, and I wanted to play with it. And so I end up sketching out a series of surfers. If I start with the sketch turns into a piece of lino, which I carve out, and I will test print what does it look like having multiple impressions or singular impressions. And then I go through my cases of type to determine what is it that I want to try and create as my wave backdrop. So as I experiment with these analog moments, I'm always looking for, something I've read, a podcast I've heard, a line in a movie, and I keep things written down in my sketchbook, and I make notes and I draw. The garage space started as a furniture making enterprise. It's like if we needed TV cabinets, kitchen tables, bed frames. COVID happened, I stumbled upon the printing component, and this just became an outlet for creativity. Yeah, there's type cases on top of the washing machines. It just got to the point where Liz is like, okay, you gotta stack this somewhere else. So the other thing is, my pile of wood, Liz keeps asking, when are you gonna get rid of this? But I look at this stuff and it's all beautiful to me. These came from the redwood staves from the wine vats. And so winery like Sagacio, which is in Sonoma County, was dismantling all the vats that came from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. And when you look at how tight that wood grain is, to me it's like, okay, I need people to see it rather than it just gets buried somewhere in a stockpile somewhere. So I've made signs out of these so that you could hang them up. And I guess if you're nerdy about it, you'd be like, dude, that's old growth redwood. I think it keeps us as humans a little bit more grounded when we have to think in terms of how do we problem solve for this piece of art that we want to make. Like, make art because you like what it says to you, and then if somebody likes it, great, you know, that's just the extra.